Sometimes you need the quiet. The quiet is a place in which meditative and contemplative thoughts can be far more pronounced. In many games, when there is a strong exploration focus, the actual focus is more on a combination of heavier gameplay elements alongside the exploration. For instance, you may need to explore the land around you, but you are also constantly interrupted in that activity by the presence of enemies that need to be dealt with so you can continue to explore. This is not the case with Season, A Letter to the Future, which I'll just be calling Season, because that is a bit of a lengthy name. In Season, the predominant activity that you perform is exploration, and there is no combat to get in the way of that. This makes it a far purer explorative experience than most games will allow. And that does also obviously mean that the game will not be for everyone. In Season, you are journeying through and exploring a dying world. However, this is not the kind of dying or dead world that you might find in your standard post-apocalyptic piece of media, but rather a world that is slowly emptying of life. You will come across the large and still standing structures that humans once produced, but they are devoid of human life rather than being toppled over. You are just there to bear witness to it, and you do so through two predominant means, on foot and on bicycle. When it comes to your time on foot, you cannot go particularly quickly from place to place, and are instead focused on the minutiae of this world. You pay attention to the sights and sounds in an up-close and personal capacity. The bike is a bit different in that it allows you to traverse larger distances a lot faster, but still not at the speed of something like a car. There are no gameplay mechanics to wipe out or do tricks or something like that, because the game has only given this mode of transportation to you so that you can explore its world, not so that you can do tricks. It is also just worth noting that comparatively few games actually incorporate bicycles into their gameplay. It's just not a form of transportation that seemingly makes its way into most games. And there are few experiences more beautiful in Season than riding down a hill and seeing all unfold before you. The quietness of the world and the calmness of the explorative elements means that you will never have trouble with what is before you. In fact, you can just ride right past things if you don't really want to engage with them. However, you can engage with them. You can document what you see along the way. This is a phenomenal way of further incentivizing an explorative mindset. The means of exploring things has to do with taking pictures and capturing audio of what you encounter. And you can then place those things in a journal that can be personalized to your particular preferences. The world is yours to see and explore, and that means that it's yours to document as you see fit. And this documentation aspect of the game means that you are more likely to closely engage with the quiet world around you rather than simply zipping through it as quickly as possible. There is little to see and do in the world of Season. That is basically the point. This is a world that allows you to choose your own level of engagement in what it has presented to the player. The world has a few characters you can interact with, and they do offer some additional intrigue to the world as a whole, but there is no chaotic noise, no violence, no struggle to succeed. All is calm and peaceful in this world. All is quiet. This obviously means that the game will never be for every kind of player. But it does not need to be for any specific number of players. It can just be for those who do desire a more meditative approach to general world exploration. The lack of heightened interaction with the world ensures that those who truly engage with it will likely have a pleasant time with what is on display. I feel that there is actually another game that has a similarly quiet world to explore, and that is Shadow of the Colossus. When most discuss this game, they tend to purely focus on the actual Colossus boss fights, and for good reason. They are phenomenal. But between each boss fight, there is nothing. There are no enemies to fight or obstacles to traverse. All you do between each boss fight is make your way to the next boss fight. That is all you do. The world of Shadow of the Colossus, outside of the boss fights, is one that is quiet, with little to no interaction with anything around you. It allows you to enter a state of calm before you tackle the boss at the end of the road. Season features a world that is like the one found in Shadow of the Colossus, in terms of the quiet and lack of interactivity, but without any boss fights along the way. All you need to do to succeed in Season is to be willing to engage with it. Be willing to stop and take pictures along your journey. Be willing to place those images in your journal and personalize it to your preferences. And be willing to let go of the idea that a game needs to have fights or action to be engaging. Season may not be engaging in the traditional ways that games often are, but it allows you to explore a world outside of your own in a peaceful and methodical way that few games allow. Most games are too afraid of the player getting bored that they minimize the quiet and instead blast you with fun and excitement. And that is fine, but it's also not the only experience that you should strive to have in life. Be willing to simply be alone with your thoughts and the sounds of the world. A virtual cycling tour through a calm world is a great little holiday for you to experience.